Good day, namaste, yogis and yoginis. Welcome once again to Yoga with Vic, the yoga for everyone, any shape, any age, and any level. And this is Body Parts, the series that I'm offering you just to enjoy every single little part of the body, especially we're focusing on joints. And today is going to be the hips. And there's two classes, there's a mild class and a stronger class. This is the mild class. If you're already advanced or you've got a lot of mobility in the hips, you can go to the advanced class. If you don't, you can start with this and then continue with that, or just keep working with this, whatever works for you. This is just if you're very stiff or if you just want to start slow. So let's sit down. Sit down. We're going to actually go back on our backs in Supta Baddha. So we're going to put the soles of the feet together. And we're going to recline, so we're going to come towards the floor and find yourself a little bit of space on the mat. Put the hands, the palms looking up, and let's just land a little bit. Let's open in a very mild way. If this is already too much, you can put 2 blocks or 2 cushions or 2 little props underneath your knees if it feels still too intense. And just land on the mat. Just let's take a few breaths. You could put also, if you want, a hand on your belly and a hand on your heart, no matter which one. It's not really vital. And just stop with your breath. Let's land. Sometimes we just need to land. Realize that this is time for ourselves. Away from the business, from the craziness, a way to get started or just to get a little break during the day. So just slow your breath to start with. Take a big inhale, inflating the belly. Bring in all the beautiful oxygen to the whole body. And then a beautiful exhale, slow and calm. Go through the belly, the chest. If you're still a bit bottled up, just give yourself a big exhale through the mouth and let it all go. 1, 2, 3, as many as needed. And make sure nothing is staying inside. No feelings of anger or rage or anything, or even just frustration or whatever it is, or even a yawn. Just give yourself a big yawn. We tend to simulate a yawn with boredness, like I'm bored, and that's not the case. Or I'm sleepy. You just want to have a big gasp of oxygen coming into your lungs. I yawn so much when I practice yoga. And I can tell you, I'm not bored. Let it go. Awesome, perfect. And from here, we're gonna do a beautiful happy baby. So grab, bring your knees towards your chest. You can grab the back of your thighs if you're not very flexible. You can try to grab the outside of your feet or your big toes, whatever works for you, and you can just move a little bit side to side. Feel the back extended so the spine is all on the floor, even your tailbone as much as you can. So big long spine, and you're pushing down so the knees towards the floor, and at the same time, if you want and if it feels good, I invite you to rock side to side, just a bit. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just to start opening the hips, the inner thighs, in a mildish way. If you're not very flexible, you might think this is not mild at all. As I say, you can also just grab your back of the thighs and then the hamstring, just behind your knees, and that's already a lot. Especially if you've never worked the thighs, That's pretty intense. I'm going to do also happy baby. Let's see how it feels. So let's extend the right leg ahead of us. Just leave it on the floor as it was before, and let's grab maybe for a bit more intensity or just more strength the outside of the foot, and just focus on the left thigh and push it towards the floor. See how it feels. How is it for you? Is it more intense than both legs? Is it less intense? Can you focus on that one leg? And if you can, just try to stretch a little bit the leg. Just keep pushing towards straight, just mildly. And when you think this is enough, that's enough. There's a lot of work here in the inner thigh, the groin. Okay, feel whatever you feel, come back. And let's bring the other leg and let's change. So the left leg goes straight to the floor, the right leg comes up, opens up, knee towards the floor. You can grab again the back of the thigh, the outside of the foot, just for a bit more push. And just bring it down, opening, and see how it feels. Any difference? The right is always different to the left. We are never symmetrical. And if this feels like okay, I can give it a little bit of a try. Let's open. Let's straighten the leg a little bit towards the exterior. See how it goes. How the inner thigh, is it complaining? Is it screaming at you? Is it thinking, what the hell are you doing with me? Whatever it is, just feel it. And whenever it's too intense, just stop there and be very kind to you. Okay, come back towards the center if you were straightening the leg. Let's bring both together again as a happy baby we initially did. Rock yourself back and forth, and then extend one. Bring it back. Extend the right. Well, I did the left first, whatever works for you. Bring it back. So with both at the same time, up together. We're going to just extend one and the other, alternating as far as you can get. Nothing crazy. Remember, don't let the ego dictate what you have to do. It's the compassion that has to dictate what you do today. Okay. Let's try to extend both and let's see how far we go. We might just go a couple of centimeters, 2 inches, or 3. Try what happens. Still early. So, again, it's not about who's performing more and less. It's about performing what it feels good for you. Okay, perfect. Bring both legs together. Grab them on your chest. Give yourself a hug. Rock yourself back and forth. Or give yourself a massage. This feels so good. And come up. Perfect. And let's do the butterfly we initially did in Supta Baddha Konasana when we were lying on our back. We're just standing up. And so bring the feet towards the groin. They don't have to touch. Just bring them as close as you can. And from here, you can just grab the outside of the ankles or just the outside of the feet and push yourself up or pull yourself up. More pulling than pushing here. So pull yourself up and find that straight spine. And this is all we're going to aim at the moment. If you want to just slowly move your wings and try to push them down, but very mildly. You know, we don't want anything strong and we don't want push. That's not the idea. As I said, you can grab the outside of your feet, the toes. The important thing is you find a straight spine, and then the opening of the hips will happen naturally. Again, we're not going for a super strong opening. You might be thinking, what? It's already super strong. We're just finding a moment to relax the inner thighs, to open the hips, to just give a bit of love to that big joint. Okay, let's move them a little bit forward in diamond pose. This is a slightly different angle. So diamond pose is obviously a diamond. So the four sides kind of are the same. So the feet go forward, and here again, straight spine. We can grab the calves, the ankles, the feet, the toes, whatever we reach. Again, keep the spine straight, so no hunching. And just go forward as it feels good. If you think, okay, this is enough, let's stay here. There's a different part of the hips that we are aiming here. Not so much the inner thighs are involved, but there's also the outer part of the hips that are getting into the motion here. So we're going to be tackling all different angles. Enjoy. Every time you exhale, try to go a little bit lower. Whatever your body allows you this day. Okay, perfect. And then we're just gonna do, okay, let's grab a block if you have it. Or if you prefer to not to use a block, also feel free, because we're gonna do to hero's pose, Vajrasana, Virasana. Again, a bit of an opening. You can use the middle one. You know, you might think this is not very strong. Okay, if that's the case, then you can use the lower one. You know, there's also a different position for the hips. Also for the knees, just be careful if you've got any injuries. And see how it feels. Just sit down here. You can close your eyes. Put your hands on the lap. Or you can also put one hand. And just breathe. So this is not the intense part of the hips, but it will help us move a little bit. There's a bit of internal rotation here of the hips. And if you don't need a block and you want to sit down directly, for me it's a bit hard. So I will still use the block. But if that's the case, and you know, as I say, you have very healthy hips, well, not hips, especially knees and ankles, because you need some ankle mobility here, feel free to remove the block. I'm just gonna be here for a few more seconds. Enjoying the pose. You might be thinking, what is this enjoyment? I don't enjoy anything in here. Which is fine, but that you should be enjoying it. You should just be finding the height and the position that really works for you. You know, the position that you can sustain for, you know, around a minute or a minute and a half. Okay, let's remove the block. And let's do the opposite move. So we're gonna get toes together, and we're gonna open the knees a bit wider than usual for child's pose. So if normally we have kind of the width of the mat, less of the width of the mat, we can open the width of the mat, or even a little bit more if you want, if you can, and if it feels good. But always make sure you have some little cushion under the knee so it doesn't bother you. And then we're gonna go to child's pose. So extend ahead of you. Okay. Extend, extend, extend. And again, if child's pose, if you want to extend and leave the shoulders and the elbows off the mat, feel free to do so. If you think, no, I just want to put my elbows and rest a little bit more, that's also a good idea. There's a little bit more intensity when you just leave the elbows. And you know, you give your shoulders a bit of love there, because a bit more opening and lats and all the sides. So whatever works. Remember, we're focusing on the hips. This is already quite an opening of the hips, because we have them quite separated at this very moment. take a few breaths. Inhale and exhale slowly. Remember to calm down that breath. It should be quite slow by now. And slowly just climb yourself up. Let's go to all fours. Open the hands. Tuck the toes. Let's go through a downward dog. Just passing by. You can pedal the feet a couple of times. And now we're going to lift the right leg just parallel to the floor and bring the foot between the hands, and let's go to a low lunge. And as I always say, please pat your knee if you don't have like a little cushiony mat like I do now, and tuck the toes. And we are in low lunge, 90 degrees with the floor. Let's climb on our knee. This might be already quite as strenuous and intense for you. If you think, okay, this is too much, you can use 2 blocks. I only brought 1, but you can have 2 blocks here and just prop yourself up. If you think, okay, let me give it a try, it's gonna go for the knee. There's a big extension on the hip flexor. That's what we're aiming for. And if you think, okay, I can do a little bit more, then we can stretch the arms above us and go for a little bit of a back bend, and then you can feel the hip flexor really going, all the iliac, the psoas, all of it just getting a beautiful extension, a beautiful yawn. And if you think, okay, I can do a little bit more, we can just tuck the toes, lift the knee, and go to a crescent lunge, a low crescent lunge, but that's a little bit more intense, and then we're also strengthening quite a lot. It's a bit more dynamic. But if you think, oh, this is too much, just go back to the low lunge. We're gonna just be here for 2 more breaths. And go down, go back to our low lunge, and tuck the toes. Come back to all fours. Give yourself a little bit of a move here, back and forth, a little bit of circles, because that's quite intense. It doesn't look like it, but it is very intense. Or maybe it does look like it. Okay, let's go to downward dog again. Left leg goes up a little bit, just parallel to the floor, comes back to the front, between the hands, right knee on the floor, and tuck the toes. And let's do this low lunge. And again, if this is good, or you want to use a couple of blocks, and you think this is my pose today, stay there. If you want to take it a little notch further, climb onto your knee and stay here. That's already a very intense stretch of all the hip flexor. And you can breathe it, live it, enjoy it, rejoice it. If you think, let's take it up a notch, extend the arms ahead, go up, and do a bit of a back bend, engage the glute. And then you get engagement of the glute and the stretch of the psoas. And if you're thinking, oh yeah, I can try a little bit more, let's see if we can strengthen, then we're passing quickly through the beginning, tucking the toes, lifting the knee, and then we go to more a crescent low lunge. And this is, again, good stretch and also very good strengthening of the psoas. So this is a bit more dynamic than before. The other one was more passive. In here we engage everything. We're also engaged in the glute. A lot of action happening here. And then we come down, knee on the floor again. Untuck the toes. Let's go to all fours. Give yourself a little bit of a circle, a bit of a release, because that's quite a hard position. Okay, back and forth, right, left, and let's go sit down. So cross the feet in front of you, and let me face you so that you can see properly. We're going to do cradle the baby, or rock the baby, whatever works for you. Names is beautiful. So one foot comes towards the groin, the other one is going to come up, and we're going to, you can just take it here, and that's enough. So just push the tibia, the shin towards you, just bring it up towards your chest. If you can and it works, you can cradle the foot in your arm crease, and then you can bring it up towards the chest. You can also flex the foot if the ankle bothers you. So it can be either extended or flexed, whatever works, because I have so many injuries in my ankle. Actually flexes better, but whatever works for you. We are focusing on the hip, so you can also cradle the knee and just bring it towards you. And if this is not the height and you're here, again, just try to bring it up as close as you can to the chest, and move it very mildly. Again, be mindful of the knee if you've had injuries. That's why I like flexing also the foot, because you also activate the shin and you protect the knee a little bit more. So if you can flex it, it's always a little bit safer. So move it, cradling the baby. That's very beautiful name. Okay, let's release the foot and let's change. Let's go for the other side. So this time it's going to be the left. I don't know if you can see me better like this or the side. Okay, if you can cradle in the crease of your right arm, perfect. Flex the foot, then we'll cradle the knee into the left elbowish part, and then bring it up. And you can sing a lullaby, or you can just close your eyes and imagine it's something you love. It can be a pet, a baby, a person you really like, and you're giving it a love, or just your leg, which deserves a lot of love anyway. Give it some. Okay, can we? Yes. I think I can't do that. I can't kiss my foot. You don't have to, but maybe you can kiss your knee, or just yourself, because you deserve it. Okay, from here we're gonna release, and we're gonna do some beautiful windshield wipers just to chill down a little bit. So feet the width of the hip of the mat, and we're gonna go just right and left. This should not feel difficult, but sometimes the mobility, there's a lot of stickiness in the fascia, so you want to move things. We've been moving them in all different directions, back and forth, up and down, you know, all the different little muscles of the hips, and moving also the bones in different sides and rotating them around. And again, this is a mild class. You can go to the harder class if you want. That's more intense. That's not for everyone. So be mindful. You can try. You can see, okay, which ones can I do? Is that good for me? Can I do this today? But please always be compassionate with yourself. And as I said, don't let your ego dictate what you have to do. Okay, awesome. Let's go to the back again. We're going to do our beautiful reclining pigeon. You've seen it before, you've been practicing with me. So, you know, bend both knees. The right ankle goes over the left knee. And if this is enough, great. You can also prop your foot and put something underneath just to get a bit of height. You can grab the back of your thigh, or you can grab your shin and just bring it towards you. And remember to always flex the foot that is in front of the knee. We normally flex both, but the most important one is the one that is bending on top. because then again we protect the knee by activating the shin, and just press, press, press towards you. And then we're also stretching here all the glutes, the piriform. And if you can, push the right knee a little bit away from you with the elbow. So like trying to avoid getting it towards you too close, but at the same time press the left leg towards you. So left leg towards you, right leg away from you. And then also you're working on that rotation of the hip. I love pigeons, reclining, standing, standard pigeon. They're all amazing for the hips, for the glutes. Beautiful, beautiful extensions, rotations. Great release. Okay, let's release, talking about release. So go down, let's change. So both feet on the floor. The left knee goes over the left foot goes over the right knee, and you bring it forward again. If this isn't plenty for you, just leave it there. If you want to prop your foot just by putting something underneath, also is great. And if you want to grab the back of the thigh, the shin, just bring it towards you. Remember to flex the left foot. You can also flex the right foot or point it. That's more relaxed. And if you can, with your left elbow, push the left knee away from you and bring the thigh towards your chest. The right one, obviously. Sometimes I take for granted that right and left are clear, but sometimes it's like, what leg am I working with now? Okay, so right leg comes towards you, left leg goes away from you. Take a few more breaths. Enjoy that stretch. And release the foot. Grab both legs. Give yourself a big, 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 big hug. Lift the forehead towards the knees. Take a big inhale. Hold it. Take another inhale, whatever you can grab. Let it all go. Neck to the floor. Extend the legs ahead of you. Palms go up. And let's do a little bit of Shavasana because you've earned it. Relax everything. Remember to extend the neck, so tuck the chin slightly. Just let it all go. How does it feel? Feel the after effects in your hips. Do they feel a bit more loose? Can you feel a weird sensation there? There's more release. Don't hold anything. Relax the face, the forehead, the cheeks, the mouth, the jaw, the ears. Sometimes we even feel tension in the ears. Shoulders to the floor, all heavy, the arms, the back all flat on the floor, glutes heavy, thighs heavy, calves heavy, everything's stuck. Glute to the ground. Just close your eyes if it feels good. Observe your breathing. And I invite you to stay there as long as you want. Otherwise, you can also come with me, wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. You can go to one side and come up through one side, or just rock and roll yourself. Grabbing your knees, the back of your thighs, and go to a seated position. Bow your chin. Observe. And thank you so much for opening the hips with me today. And if you want to try that hip opener, which is a bit harder, you can go ahead, but always be very mindful. Thank you so much for being with me today. It's always a pleasure and an honor. Namaste.